search is on this morning for a possible accomplice in a deadly shooting in California. This morning, we have more on what happened that left several people dead and even more injured at a garlic festival. Hundreds of new Washington laws are now in effect. We break down a few that caught our attention during the legislative session. Online trolls are something you see often on the web. Now some entrepreneurs have come up with the idea to hire some of those trolls. We connect the dots. 5 a.m. now on our Monday morning. Welcome to KREM 2 Morning News. Happy to have you with us this morning. I'm Jen York. Thomas Patrick is in for Evan Arani this morning. And Thomas, we should keep our eyes to the sky.
Yeah, that's right, Jen. And there's some really cool happenings out in the sky, not only earlier this morning, but perhaps later tonight. Might want to just take a moment to do a little bit of stargazing. So it's the Aquarian meteor shower and an International Space Station viewing that later tonight. Actually, the Aquarians actually just peaked a couple hours ago, still visible later on this evening. And if you want to see those meteors, get to a dark location at around midnight and just get your eyes to the sky, any direction. But the International Space Station, very specific timing here at 10:25 p.m. That ISS will do a flyover for 3 minutes, and it will move from the northwest sky to the southeastern sky. So if you are looking basically in any direction, you will be able to see maybe a couple meteor shooting stars fly by, but that International Space Station looks like a really bright star traveling very fast across the sky. That will be pretty cool later on tonight. But check out this glowing sunrise this morning. So I don't think we'll see any meteors now that the dawn sky is on us now, but those temperatures will get quite warm later on today. It's 59 degrees right now in Spokane. St. Mary's is pulling 42 at the moment, 46 in Pullman. So still a little bit cool in terms of summer weather. But don't worry, we'll have plenty of 80s and in fact maybe even a few 90s, not only today, but certainly in the long-term outlook, looking at a high confidence of 90s actually next week. But we do have warm weather ahead of us as well. So coming up in a few minutes, a look at how the month of July will finish out weather-wise. That's coming up.
All right, Thomas, thank you. It is 5:02 now. We're tracking breaking news. A 6-year-old boy is among at least 4 people killed after a shooting at a garlic festival in California. It happened last night. 15 other people were wounded. The gunman is also dead. This morning, police are still searching for a second person who may have been involved. Giacomo Luca with our sister station in Sacramento has the latest.
I'm Giacomo Luca in Gilroy, California, where last night gunmen opened fire at the city's summer garlic festival, killing several people and injuring many more.
Oh, they shooting. Come on. Oh.
Videos posted to social media show the chaotic scene at what was supposed to be a family event, a garlic festival that draws at least 100,000 people every year. Law enforcement officials gave a late-night press briefing, say they believe 2 suspects avoided security by entering through a nearby creek and cutting through a fence.
This is one of those press conferences you never want to have to give in your community. And it's sort of a nightmare that you hope you never have to live in reality.
One of the suspects was killed by local police immediately after. He used some sort of a rifle during this attack. The motive remains unclear. Meanwhile, police remain on a manhunt for that second person believed to be involved. We are expecting an update from officials sometime early this morning. Back to you.
Well, we'll continue tracking that story this morning. You can read the latest on KREM.com. In the meantime, as he mentioned, investigators are still trying to determine the motive, and we are expecting to learn more at another press conference set for later this morning. For updates, you can also find that information on the new KREM 2 mobile app. It is 5:03 now. New Washington state laws were put into place this weekend. We have KREM 2's Nicole Hernandez here in the studio to talk about the new laws. Good morning.
Good morning, Jen. So hundreds of new Washington laws took effect over the weekend, and here are a few that got a lot of attention this legislative session. First, new moms are now able to take breaks to pump their breast milk. Their workplace also must find a private place for moms, or at least work with them on finding a comfortable area to pump. This is for up to 2 years after they've had a baby. Another new law, witnesses in court can request that they have a dog join them. Whether the court allows it depends on a lot of different factors, including if a dog and handler are free and if the dog and witness have formed a bond. And for drivers who have Purple Heart or Gold Star license plates, you no longer have to pay license fees or motor vehicle excise taxes. This is on top of the fees that plate holders are already exempt from. Now, these are just a handful of the new laws, and there are dozens more. You can find them on KREM.com and inside the new KREM 2 app. I'll send it back to you, Jen.
Nicole, thank you so much. Just ahead of 5:05 now. Here are the top stories that you need to know before you start your day. Authorities believe they found the body of a missing Oregon toddler in Montana. FBI leaders say his parents died in an apparent murder-suicide. Authorities say they found the body of a small boy near Kalispell. They are still waiting to positively identify the boy and determine a cause of death. He was last seen in June at a Walmart in Medford. Last week, his parents, who were wanted for burglary, led police on a car chase in Montana. Police found the mother with a gunshot wound to the head and the father with a self-inflicted gunshot wound. The 2-year-old was not with them. Investigators say the parents were spotted earlier this week in Montana, and we are told an autopsy will happen next week. This morning, some people in Spokane cannot drink water out of the faucet. The city of Spokane announced on Friday the drinking water in Spokane's Hilliard neighborhood is contaminated. And here's what we know. It happened after a hydro seeding truck used a city fire hydrant and may have allowed contaminants into the water supply. The city says this impacts people living and working in the areas between Havana to Freya, going east to west, and north to south from Crown to Wellesley. Homes and businesses could be without safe tap water until this Friday. The Freya post office is handing out bottled water. It will be open from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. The Cheaty Complex fire is fully contained this morning. The complex consists of 4 different fires burned, and it burned a total of 171 acres. Investigators say lightning sparked the fires. Yesterday, some crews demobilized and local crews took control of the fires. They are expected to mop up the fire for several days. Hundreds of new laws are now in effect in Washington state, as Nicole just mentioned, and one of the more talked about changes involves new protections for renters. A landlord can no longer give a 3-day notice to pay or vacate. It is now extended to a 14-day pay or vacate warning. The idea behind that change is to give people more time to come up with the money and not have to worry about being without a home. The other big change is the notification on rental increases. That expands from 30 days to 60 days unless you live in subsidized housing. Authorities say 3 suspects attacked 2 Moses Lake police officers. They say it happened during a traffic stop. Officers say it happened as they arrested a 21-year-old suspect who tried to run from the scene. They say another passenger hit an officer on the back of the head, and at that point, they say a K-9 officer attacked that passenger. Officers say they eventually arrested 3 people. They were booked into the Grant County Jail on assault and obstruction charges. It is coming up on 5:08 now. A mother's rant about her experience at Disney World is going viral. She is asking all childless couples to be banned from the parks. As expected, she's receiving backlash from millennials. KREM 2's Dana Marie McNichol is joining us now in studio to talk about what people are saying online this morning.
Well, this mom did not hold back when she took to Twitter to talk about wanting adults without children banned from parks. Now, we can't even show you her complete tweet because it's filled with expletives. Now, before we get into her tweet, I want you to get out your phones and head to krem.com/vote on our new mobile 2 KREM app and hit that Vote Now tab and tell us what you think. Should adults without children be allowed in Disney parks? Now, this anonymous rant was actually posted last year, but it resurfaced over the weekend. The mother had a word or two to say about why millennials without kids should be banned from Disney World. She shared that people without children need to be banned. Mothers with children should be allowed to skip all of the lines. People on Twitter had a lot of different feelings about this one. Most users were not in support of this mom and her choice of words. One user shared that a 60-year-old without any children should still have fun at Disneyland anyway. She's having a good time. Another user said that Disney's intent for their theme park is for children of ages 1 to 100. She said that potty mouth and bad manners does not belong in the happiest place on earth. A third Twitter user expressed that not all people have the privilege of being parents, as a viral post encourages Disney to ban adults who do not have children with them. Now, don't forget to join our poll this morning. Head to our website, krem.com/vote, or you can click the Vote Now tab in our brand new KREM 2 mobile app. We'll check back with those results in about 15 minutes, but right now, Jen, we'll send it back to you.
All right, Dana Marie, thank you. Taking a look at the poll results this morning. Should adults without children be allowed in Disney parks? 70% say yes. All right, it is coming up on 5:10 now. Time for In Other News. 3 stories to get your brain moving on our Monday morning. Do not throw away that last few little sips of coffee this morning. Studies show you should use it to water your plants. According to the Spruce, plants like blueberries and azaleas will enjoy more acidic soil. If watering them with coffee turns the leaves yellow or brown, your plants are receiving too much acid. Try watering down the coffee before pouring. Experts recommend only doing this once a week, and hold the cream and sugar. You should only do this if you drink your coffee black. And you might want to cut back on the gossip in the break room today. A new report suggests ignoring your coworkers can prevent you from being exhausted at work. According to psychologists, every time you chat with a coworker, you lose productivity. That's because of the energy it takes to switch between tasks. It can take you 25 minutes to refocus. Experts recommend wearing headphones to send the signal that you just don't feel like talking right now. Well, are you thinking about ordering delivery for dinner tonight? Maybe you're doing it for breakfast even. A new study might have you think twice. Research from U.S. Food says about 28% of delivery drivers are sampling your to-go plate. Customers are onto them too. 80% of customers say they felt like something was missing. The drivers say the car's filling up with the smell of good food, and sometimes it's just too hard to resist. Most customers say they would be less worried about deliveries if restaurants would use tamper-proof packaging for the go orders. It is 5:11 now on our Monday morning. Online trolling is becoming a paid occupation. After the break, how companies could use them to boost their profiles. World Cup champ Megan Rapinoe is pushing for equal pay. Coming up at 5:30, what she is urging Washington State to do to help female athletes.